The last laugh in the heart of the city, tucked behind shadows and forgotten ambitions, lies a dimly lit comedy club. The kind of place where the floors stick to your shoes, the laughter is strained, and regret lingers in the air like stale cigarette smoke. Here, Brian, a gaunt and weary comedian, stands under a solitary spotlight. His jokes fall flat, the few chuckles in the audience dripping with pity. A couple whispers at a table near the stage, their disinterest cutting deeper than the silence. Brian wipes the sweat beading on his forehead and mutters his closer. The silence that follows is deafening. Defeated, he steps off the stage and disappears into the cold, foggy night. As he trudges home through the misty streets, Brian mutters to himself, "Maybe I should just quit." But then, as if guided by an unseen force, his gaze catches on something in the dusty window of an old thrift shop. An ancient, leather-bound book sits under the dim glow of a flickering bulb. Its gold-embossed title, The Blueprint of Life, aligning with the laws of abundance. A Practical Guide to Manifesting Your Greatest Self by S. Thomas, glimmers faintly, which he previously saw on Amazon, but was skeptical. Now he knew it was a sign. Drawn by an inexplicable pull, Brian steps inside. Inside, the air is heavy with dust and time. The shopkeeper, a frail man with hunched shoulders and clouded eyes, watches Brian with a knowing expression. "That book," the old man says, his voice a rasping whisper, "it comes at a price, and not the one you pay here." Brian, desperate for a break, dismisses the warning. The shopkeeper hesitates before handing it over. "Don't say I didn't warn you," he murmurs as Brian leaves. That night, in the solitude of his dingy apartment, Brian opens the book. The jokes leap off the pages, brilliant, biting, and universal. Practicing in front of his cracked mirror, the words roll off his tongue effortlessly. For the first time in years, he feels alive. At his next performance, the transformation is undeniable. The audience roars with laughter, tears streaming down their faces. Brian leaves the stage euphoric, basking in the glow of success. But later he hears the news. One of the patrons died that night, suffocating from laughter. Brian shakes it off as a bizarre coincidence. Brian's star rises quickly. His shows sell out and his name is on everyone's lips. But the laughter always comes with a cost. After each performance, another victim falls a car crash, a sudden choking, a heart attack. The deaths grow more grotesque, and Brian begins to notice disturbing patterns. Faces in the crowd twist unnaturally when he delivers his punchlines, their laughter morphing into animalistic shrieks. It chills him to his core. One night he finds a note slipped under his door. The words are scrawled in jagged handwriting. The punchline always lands. Haunted, Brian delves into the book's history. He discovers it belonged to a comedian in the 1930s, a man whose sold-out shows ended in catastrophe when an entire audience died laughing. The comedian vanished that night, leaving behind only the book. It resurfaced decades later, bringing tragedy wherever it went. Brian decides to stop using the book, but it won't let him go. The jokes appear everywhere, scribbled on his walls, his mirror, even etched into his skin. At his biggest gig yet, he resolves to perform without it. But as he steps on stage, the book is already in his hands, its pages glowing faintly in the dim light. The audience erupts in laughter, louder and more hysterical than ever before. Their faces contort grotesquely, veins bulging and eyes wide with unnatural glee. The laughter grows unbearable, a deafening roar that drowns out Brian's voice. Shadowy figures emerge from the crowd, their mouths impossibly wide, their bodies jerking in unnatural spasms. One figure climbs onto the stage, leaning close to whisper in Brian's ear, "You're the joke now." Brian collapses. The spotlight flickers, and the laughter dies abruptly. When the lights return, he's gone. Only the book remains, sitting innocently on the stool where Brian once stood. Its cover is pristine, waiting for the next soul to claim it. Where a young comedian browses the cluttered shelves, his eyes light up as they land on a peculiar leather-bound book, its gold lettering gleaming under the dim light. He picks it up, curious as the screen fades to black. A faint, haunting laughter echoes in the void.